Hello and welcome back to the Wisdom of Warhammer channel, and in today's video I will be discussing the Black Templars. I will start off with how they were created and the first chapter master Sigismund. Then I will talk about some of their major campaigns between the 30th and 42nd millennium. I will then finish off the video with current lore, and then I will go into the structure, chapter beliefs, and combat doctrine of the Black Templars. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Wisdom of Warhammer, and let's get the video started, shall we? The Black Templars were created after the Horus Heresy, when the legions were split into chapters. The Black Templars were one of the three main chapters to come from the Imperial Fists. The Marines who joined the Black Templars were the most zealous of the Imperial Fists and the close quarters combat specialists, and the first man to lead them was Sigismund, the former first captain of the Imperial Fist and the first Emperor's champion. I have a video on him, so you can go check that out, but continuing on the Black Templars from the beginning, do not follow the Codex Astartes and have more than 1,000 Marines in the chapter. Now, in the current time, the Black Templars are more zealous and have more faith in the Emperor, but their zeal and faith can cause harm to them. For the example, when the Primaris were revealed. The Black Templars got them. They didn't like them because they saw it as heresy because Kull created them, and from their eyes, he improved upon the Emperor's work, and one crusade force killed the Primaris that were sent to them, and the custodian sent to deliver them was killed as well. The Crusade force was punished by High Marshal Helbricht for killing the Primaris Marines because Helbricht saw the value of the Primaris, and eventually the High Marshal himself became a Primaris. But there is not much lore after this, but they are still the biggest Space Marine chapter, even though Gilman doesn't like this, but he has bigger things to deal with, but he knows they are loyal to the Emperor. Now, going into some of their well-known campaigns, we have the War of the Beast, which is a very big and costly war for the Imperium against an Orc-Wa, which was led by a Krork, which is a bigger and slightly more intelligent Orc. The war was so bad that the Last Wall Protocol was activated, in which all the Sons of Dorn arrived to fight the Orcs, but the Imperial Fists were 99% wiped out and needed support from the successor chapters, and they agreed. After that mess of a campaign, we have the Third War for Armageddon, which required three big crusade forces of the Black Templars, including High Marshal Helbricht himself and the future hero of Hell's Reach, Merrick Grimaldus. This war was so brutal, but not as bad as the War of the Beasts, but still very costly, because it is called the Third War of Armageddon. There was two battles, one for the surface and the other in the void of space. Helbricht fought in orbit with his fleet and the other Imperial ships, while the majority of the two other Crusade forces orbital dropped onto the surface and killed the Orc forces that were led by Ghazghkull Thraka, the prophet of the Orc gods. The major battles were at Hell's Reach, and eventually the High Marshal's fleet was damaged, but he was able to push back his Space Hulk. The Crusade force on the ground was having some trouble at Hell's Reach during this, where there were not a lot of remaining Black Templars. From this dark time, the chaplain Grimaldus rallied the defenders for one final stand, but he and some of the defenders survived with the arrival of reinforcements. Now going into the worst campaign that the Black Templars embarked on was the Howling, which cost the Imperium a massive amount of people and resources. The enemy in this was a hybrid between a cyborg alien psyker that mind-controlled over 1,300 planetary systems, and when the Black Templars killed it, it caused a massive damage to the surrounding Imperial planets. I'm now going to go over what damage was caused. The first thing was 1 billion astropaths' minds melted from this, and the thousands of worlds fell, and the final cost was that millions upon millions of void ships were lost in the warp and disappeared. Now, there are a bunch of other campaigns, but those are the big ones that I could find, and any other smaller minor campaigns. But if I missed any other big ones, let me know in the comments. The chapter is an nomadic chapter, which means they don't have a homeworld, but they do have multiple keeps on recruiting worlds that they return to gain more aspirants for the chapter. They train their recruits for a whole Terran year, and when they are ready, the fully fledged Battle Brothers take them on a crusade and continue their training. They can also become an initiate during this time, which is a scout in the Black Templars, even though they don't have a dedicated scout company. Because they don't have a scout company, the initiates follow alongside a Crusader squad, which is up to 20 initiates that prove their worth in the chapter, while the neophytes are followed beside them in combat to learn what it means to be a Templar. When the neophyte is ready to be initiate, they are given their first implants of becoming a Space Marine and make their oath of loyalty in front of their peers. I said a bit ago that they don't have a dedicated scout company, but it is a few squads of neophytes that gain intel from surveying the enemy before the true force of the Black Templars arrive. Now going above them is the true force of the Crusader squads, and they're composed of a Sword Brethren, which is a Black Templar veteran, and a couple of fully fledged Battle Brothers and Initiates, and of course their neophytes. Their war gear is the Holy Bolter and the Holy Chainsword, with the Sword Brethren carrying a Power Sword with their Holy Power Armor, with a dash of faith and zeal for extra protection. Then moving up the ladder, we have the high-ranking members of the Black Templar Order, which are called Castellans, who are lieutenants of the companies in the chapter. Then we have the Marshals, who are the captains who lead whole companies and the Crusade force against the foes of the Imperium. Then we have the last two starting off with the Emperor's Champion, which is a very special position for the Black Templar because he is a Marine who wears an all-black suit of armor and the black sword and is a beacon of faith for the Black Templars on the battlefield. There can be multiple Emperor's Champion in the chapter, but they can't be on the same Crusade, force, or battlefield. I will be doing a video on the Emperor's Champion in the future. Now we have gotten to the final rank of the Black Templars, which is of course the High Marshal, which is Chapter Master, and the current one is Helbrecht. The duties of the High Marshal are to keep the secrets of the chapter to himself and keep track of all the crusades going on, also to make tactical decisions of the chapter during a massive crusade with the Marshals helping the High Marshal. Now, the Black Templars send Marines to the Death Watch even though there are librarians in their kill teams, and they treat this as a test to their tolerance for serving the Emperor, which, to be honest, is a stupid thing. They worship the Emperor, who is a Psyker, but they don't like Psykers even though the Emperor is one. But those Black Templars who serve in the kill teams tend to be more open-minded from what I have seen. The combat doctrine of the Black Templars is pretty simple. Charge ahead and slaughter the enemy with bolter and blade, but mostly blade. The Black Templars are a close quarters chapter. They start off with heavy bombardment of the enemy forces and the orbital drop and Thunderhawk landings, but if the defenses are still strong, they will use armored vehicles to advance forward to the weakest link of the enemy. Obviously, the Black Templars hate Psykers and will go into a zealous rage when they see them, like a Karen asking to see the manager. Finishing up the lore sections, we have the chapter's beliefs and the notable Black Templar Marines. Now, the chapter beliefs are very simple. The Black Templars are like any other religious military force, but add a new height of fanaticism and give them spaceships, power armor, and guns, and you have the Black Templars who hate mutants, witches, and heretics. They believe the Emperor is one and only God, and will kill anyone who seems to be a threat to him, and will kill entire populations to wash away the sin of heresy, and will get rid of every Psyker in their chapter. Now, a lot of the Battle Brothers will take a neophyte as an initiate, and from this teaching them, they will gain the skill and wisdom to calm themselves down and discover something called thinking. That was a joke, by the way. The most notable Black Templars are High Marshal Helbrecht, Merrick Grimaldus, and of course Sigismund, and I have a video on the legendary Sigismund, but to sum up the other two, starting off with Merrick, he is probably the most humble and nicest Black Templar from what I have heard from people due to the book called Hell's Reach, where he is the main character, and one of his well-known quotes was, "I will die here, I will die on Armageddon." Then we have the current High Marshal named Helbrecht, who is a very effective leader, and he sees the value of the Primaris, even though others don't. And he also fought Imhotep the Stormlord, but he got the Necron Lord back by destroying his tomb ship. He is also the best Space Marine commander in Void Combat, and he assumed command of all Imperial ships during the Third War of Armageddon. He was last seen hunting Ghazghkull Thraka with Yarick, and at some point he crossed the Rubicon. Going back a little bit to Imhotep the Stormlord cut off his hand and kind of taunted him and like humiliated him, and Helgrick got really angry, so he decided to just get back at this guy and, like I said, destroyed his tomb ship. And Imhotep pretty much said, "Well played," which is actually really funny. Now we've gotten to the end of the video on the Black Templars, and in the next video I'll talk about the importance of working out and how the Space Marines train. So it will be a 2-for-1, a self-improvement video and a Warhammer video, so keep an eye out for that video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, and you are new, hit the like button and subscribe to see more content. Send this video to someone who would like this content, and I hope you guys have a good day. This is Wisdom Warhammer, signing off.
Xenos Overlord is inbound. Prepare for intense combat.
That's news. Without armor support to tackle a target that big, we may have to bring down the supply bridge.
Charges are armed and in place.
This is a withdrawal order.
Negative. The objective is the Hive Tyrant, not the bridge. Defend this position until the Tyranid command unit is executed.
Understood, my lord. May the Emperor guide our lasguns to your support. Ready up! Show the Emperor's angels what we are made of! Eyes up! They're trying to surround us on the roofs!
Swarm approaching on the left flank! Reload!
The Hive Tyrant is on its way, but it is a horde of Xenos between you and it. Dig in for the long haul. You have its attention. It is moving to intercept. Applying more pressure.
Ravenous broods beneath our
Keep your eyes peeled. The Xenos may have restored visual range shortly.
No Tyranid survives this day. This is Talassa. The ambush was a success.
It is not dead.
Clarification requested.
The swarm would go feral without their connection to the hive mind, but their focus is still on the relay. Reports confirm the lieutenant's assessment. Enemy cohesion still in full effect. That beast is not yet dead.
Sounds like we have a hunt.
Brothers. We can hold this position, lords. We'll keep the swarm off your backs while you hunt that thing.
For McCrack, for Gilliman, for the Imperium! Intercepting projectiles. Follow me through. Target Halo online. I see it trying to dig itself out. That is an heretical mistake. Skitter to the grave, Xenos. Command! Target is alive and retreating.
Pursue and eliminate. We will not have a better opportunity to finish it off.
Fresh magazine. No telling what's as the Emperor is a shield for me, so am I for my brother.
Talassa, report.
The Hive Tyrant continues to evade.
Talassa, you cut out. Repeat.
Nothing but static now. Is this the dead zone? Our duty remains unchanged. Forward! Swapping magazine. found a trove of relics. Reloading. Waste nothing, brothers. Keep going forward. We have it now. Tossing crap. Dispenses. Our banner awaits unburned. Insurgent rounds. Secure our fallen brother. Death will be. Fresh dust. The creature is undergoing some kind of transformation.
Power surge from the target.
Rally at coordinates. Crack grenade in. Rearm. Storing battery. For the Imperium of Man. Fresh magazine. Reloading. This galaxy's the door. Inserting rounds. Assume your weapon malfunction.
Meridian to Damocles.